Hi, I'm Susie Butler and I work for Career Teachers education recruitment firm based in London in the UK. I've been a teacher for the last 10 years and now I work with their training department to train all their teachers. How to survive your first year in teaching. Without a doubt, this is probably the hardest year in your whole teaching career. It can be quite a shock to go from working with another teacher in your practices to actually being in charge of a class or a number of classes in secondary school. The first thing that you'll probably feel is that the workload is immense. It really does come thick and fast, but there's nothing there that you can't handle. You will have trained for all this in your training and your degree and getting your QTS. And it's important to talk to other teachers, more experienced teachers, about how they handle their workload and looking at prioritising what is the most important aspect of that. Marking is really important, but there may be ways that you can do it so that you're not marking till midnight every night. Looking more specifically at the key areas that you actually want to assess and mark is a much better way of doing it than spending hours on every single piece of work. Another heavy paperwork load is planning. Talk to your school about planning that already exists. Without a doubt, the previous teacher or previous year groups will have probably covered subject areas that you're going to be teaching. So do take time to talk to your head of department or your head of year or even the head of the key stage in a primary school and find out where other planning exists so you can have a basis to start from. And the standard site is also a good place to look at things like the schemes of work and the frameworks for literacy and numeracy, both in primary and secondary, hold a good basis for you. So use all those things. And most importantly, make sure that you maintain a bit of work-life balance. It can get really easy to get carried away with work and thinking you have to do everything, but it's really important that you make sure that you give yourself a break and have at least one day every weekend where you're not working and you go out and see your friends and do some other things instead, because at the end of the day, you being healthy and happy is going to make you a much better teacher. And once that first year is over, by the time you get into your second year, it will all be much more familiar and you'll settle yourself into it very quickly. And hopefully that's given you just a few tips to help survive your first year in teaching.